I'm joined now by Fatma Al-Bader. She's the founder and the managing director of Khatif in Kuwait. Now, thank you so much for taking the time to joining us. And I really want to start and ask you, just of all the work you've been doing over the last few years, now heading up this very successful company, how did you actually do it?
Well, first of all, I come from a family of women. My grandfather has 8 daughters, and they've all been educated abroad, and my mother is the first female pharmacist in Kuwait. So we sort of, as women, have taken our role in Kuwait way back before a lot of people thought we did. We've actually also in Kuwait have 4 parliamentarian women. We have a lot of women sitting on chairmen of investment companies and boards. What I've done is basically taken my chance like everybody else, starting from education, studied abroad in George Washington University, graduated and started my work at National Bank of Kuwait, went up my career in banking for about 13 years until I became the CEO of a public listed company called Mabani, delivering the largest commercial project in Kuwait called the Avenues Mall. I was the youngest CEO and the only female in the real estate sector. I developed myself throughout by taking executive management courses during my career, because I wanted to do an MBA, but my career was prospering, so I didn't want to lose that bit. I now founded Khatif Holding, which is a $50 million acquisition venture capital company concentrating on SMEs in the Gulf region.
Now, you say you just took a chance like everybody else, but I don't really hear that attitude right across the board. Do you think that's what everybody feels, that they're just doing what everybody else is doing and they're able to do that?
Well, I think it has to do with your environment. You know, I come from a very supportive family. My father, my brothers, they're very supportive of me getting, into a career position, staying late, traveling alone, these things, which I come from a very conservative family also. So it's very important that your family supports what you want to do. On the other hand I feel that I'm just as equal as any man. So I always strive to get the same, if not better. That what made me reach where I am today.
Now, of course, you were educated abroad, as you're telling me, but a lot of the institutions, the likes of INSEAD, are actually coming to the region now. Do you think that that will actually enable a lot more people to be educated here and get the quality of education right here on their own back door, so to speak?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a pro and a con for them coming to the region. The pro is that a lot of women and men actually, their families won't let them go abroad. They're either scared for them or they financially cannot support them to go abroad. So them coming in will give a much higher opportunity of them earning that education, be it from a top 50 school or a specialized school in the field they want to enter in. The con to this is traveling abroad, you tend to be more independent. You tend to interact with foreigners, which will broaden your horizon, which will give you a more wider, broader look into how to deal with things and how the world is working. So that they will miss out on.
Now, INSEAD is particularly strong, based in this region, working on executive management and executive education like that. And you've talked about the value you found on that. Tell me a bit more about that.
Education is endless, and it's very important for us to keep up where we are today. So I think, if this executive management courses are available in the Gulf, that will be brilliant for somebody like me. I don't need to leave my work. I don't need to take time off for about 2 weeks, which I'm really needed, but I would need a seclusion of the time in the country I'll be in the Gulf.
Now, the young people here in the region, they have opportunities perhaps their parents never had. Do you think there's the real desire to avail of that education and indeed to become probably better entrepreneurs?
I think there's a lot of things people do not see. I think the Gulf region thrives with young entrepreneurs. I'm so proud of a lot of men and women that come up with so many new ideas that not even the West have, not even the USA will have. There's a lot of things that still we have not surfaced. I'm being part of trying to show, I've started something very small on my website called the Entrepreneurs Club. And I have websites of the young Kuwaiti entrepreneurs that are putting their projects, just a link. I just put their logo in a link, but I just want to show some of the ideas of what these young entrepreneurs have come up with from scratch. Not with the help of anybody, without a consulting company, without Ernst & Young feasibility. And there's a lot of them. There's in the UAE, there's in Oman, there is in Qatar. I'm sure there's a lot of them in Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot of young entrepreneurs that we don't we didn't give them the chance to expose themselves. And I hope to be part of that.
And indeed, yeah, what I'm thinking, what can people like yourself do? What can the community that's there, that is educated and experienced, what can you do to actually maybe bring them to the next step?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm trying to give some of my personal time to sit with these young entrepreneurs, help them with their business idea, challenge their business idea, and try to help them with their feasibility study, and then try to find them funding. That's one of the most important things. The other thing is I'm starting to see an initiative for a microfinance with the governments in the GCC. I want to do a GCC initiative where there's microfinance for these type of projects. I think in Abu Dhabi they have Fursa, but it's very, very concentrated on the UAE and mostly on Abu Dhabi. Something like that, but for the Gulf region. There are a lot of men and women that have a lot of ideas. And for me, for my country, especially Kuwait, we have so much burden in the government sector, and I would like to get some of that into the private sector. If we create the environment and we create the funding, I'm sure we can do a lot.
Small and medium-sized businesses, for the most part, these are really the cornerstone of any society. Do you think we need to encourage more of that entrepreneurship here in the region?
Absolutely. I'm a banker. The clients that I used to fund with very small amount, less than $50,000, they don't ask for special rates. So you charge them full rates, and they're the ones that are still loyal to the bank today, and their turnover does not go beyond $3 million. So these clients stay with you, and they prosper with you, and the bank will continuously, increase business with them, and they open so many venues for you. So I think it's very important. We do have a lot of support in Kuwait, and there is support to start now in the Gulf region. But we need to expose those young entrepreneurs, and we need to show them that there are tools and that there are people who would dedicate time for them. It's not all about money. Sometimes they just need to listen for their idea.
But of course, education is really the foundation of any society, and particularly for the growth of good society here in the region. But it must be available for everyone.
Absolutely, but education also has to come from the person himself. There's a lot of people that have so many opportunities for education, but they don't want to study, and they don't have the ambition to be somewhere and to do something with that education. I've been lucky that I wanted to study, and I had a very educated mother and father that helped me with my questionnaires during my study, that challenged me with my essays and with my projects throughout my, my education years. So I think it is a two-way road. I think that the student would need to want to be educated. And then on the other side, that he needs the support of a family or surrounding at school or teachers that really help him to reach his goal.
And of course, perhaps the best example really is people like yourself, women like yourself, who actually have worked hard and, put in the experience right now and are running such a big operation. This is really the example that people need to see.
Well, I'm talking about Kuwait just in particular. It is a law in Kuwait that all women have to be educated up to high school. So even if my father or my husband or my brother does not want me to get educated, the law forces him to get me educated. So we've reached in terms of securing education for all women. The second part is most of the top graduates in all universities in the GCC and in high school are women. So I think this is a message. It's the message saying that we are getting there and we will reach where we want to reach. When there's a will, there's a way.
Thank you so much, Fatma.
Thank you very much.